All right, before I show you the breakdown of this shot, which is part of a film that I'm working on right now, fully hand painted, can this be done using AI? Yes and no. It really depends what you're looking for. So there are pros and cons for using AI or hand painting it. So if you use AI, it's gonna be a lot faster. Yes, it's gonna be a lot faster, and you have a variety of style, model. You can change your style. You can just go to the site and download whatever model you want and apply that style to your footage. Well, the cons for using AI is that you have less control. So if you wanna apply a rim light, like this image has a rim light around the edge, and this rim light was there for a reason because of the fire that you see on the foreground. Artistic decision, basically. So you don't have any control where you want to put the light, and the AI is heavily relied on your footage. And this is the footage. And the footage is, and this is the way it's lit. It's like a flat lighting. If you want to run it through AI, either you crank up the style or not. Even if you put in your prompt rim light, and let's see what we get. Yeah, so it's not giving me the light that I want. And not only that, if I want to add droplets of rain or whatever, using AI, because sometimes you want to be specific, you want to add a droplet in a specific area, and when you use AI, you don't have any of that control, so you don't have that freedom. And one of the cons for using AI is that you're stealing work from other artists, basically. You're ripping off other artists' work. But with that being said, we're just going to ignore that. Even though a lot of people are using AI, there's a lot of trendy AI videos on TikTok, Instagram. People are using AI on dance videos, and even Disney, Hollywood is using AI. All right, so what I'm trying to say is that it's been used, a lot of people are using it, even though AI is kind of ripping off a lot of artists' work. Okay, now what's the pros if you're actually hand painting it, like, human involvement, basically? Well, like I said, you have a lot more control. You're not dependent on the footage, so you can change the color of the jacket. You can relight the scene. You can add droplets, make it wet, whatever. And what are the cons? Well, it's a bit more time consuming because you're actually doing it yourself. And second is it requires a bit of artistic skills. And when I'm talking about artistic skills, is like as long as you like to draw, that's good enough. Because everybody has their own style. So you can come up with your own style, and you can work on that. So if you like drawing, then eventually you will only improve, because the more you draw, the better you get. And the way I see it is anything that has, especially now in this era, if you do something fully AI, it's not gonna be as valuable as if it's done by a human. Now let's look into all the layers, how this was constructed. So you have the fire elements. This is a texture of fire, basically, from textures.com. Let's look at the character, and okay, this is the reflectivity. Now you got like droplets of rain on a separate layer, and this is what the rim light is. And now we're gonna go all the way down here, and we're gonna remove this. This is like a light, basically. As you can see, this is like a real picture from Google for this for this hairstyle. Then it was painted over. And we're gonna take that out. We're gonna go all the way down here. And right now it's really rough. It's just to get like a color palette, and underneath of them all is the footage. And this is how the footage looks like as a single frame, because this is my master layer. And for the other keyframes, I'm just going to duplicate some of these elements and put it over there. So the first thing that I would do is save this without the environment, and inside this keys, I'll save it as a PNG file. And now what I want to do is I want to run Ebsynth. So let's run it, and let's drop the keys over here. And I already have the video. This is the video in this location, and run all. All right, the render is done. Now let's send this to After Effects. We just rendered one keyframe. So here we are in After Effects, and let's take a look. Now, obviously, I'm not expecting something clean and perfect because we only used one keyframe. So anything before that keyframe would be all broken, like all smudged. It's not gonna hold. Just in the last frame, things seems to look fine. So anything before, over here is all smudgy and all that, and that's normal. Ebsynth doesn't know what to do, especially this part. I'm not too much worried about this fist because it's going really fast. I'm really concerned about this one over here. So the next step would be to take this keyframe, bring it in Photoshop and paint over it, and we'll take this middle keyframe, bring it in Photoshop and paint over it. So this render that we did right now, it saved us quite a work. Like, we have a base color, we just need to do some fixing. And here we are in Photoshop. Let's so like we said, we want kind of like one of the early frames. Let's take 29 and let's take 89. So our job right now is really to paint over. So if you're like, kind of like, you can't see the details anymore, you don't know what the goggles are, or the elements are for you to define those details. So this is when you bring back the footage, well, the frame of the footage. So this is frame 29. So let's go to video. The video is here, and we're talking about 29. And let's bring that. There it is. So let's take this and duplicate it to footage, well, the frame of the footage, 29, and here it is. They stick well, it's perfect. Now it's pretty much the same process like we did for the master keyframe, but it's gonna save us a lot of time, a lot of work. So I will just color pick and just fix the painting. And if I don't know what the details are, just create a new outline. So you create the outline, and this is where you'll know where to paint, basically. And you do the same thing for the other keyframe, the 89, and that's it. I think for this one, I just needed 3 keyframes because he's turning his head, and then we are good. And then we can save this once we're done with the painting without the background. Save it as a new keyframe. Once you have all the keyframes saved, you would send them, all of them, back to Ebsynth, all three keyframes. All right, now the render is done. Let's take a look.